All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. So Nvidia beats, they surpass expected numbers. We'll get into the report. Now, the stock itself, I think it went down initially, then it went up. So who knows? It typically takes about half an hour to an hour to see where it actually where the market wants it to go, but it did better than expected. So yeah, let me share my screen so we can go over the numbers, and we can just see how good they did, and then we'll take a look at the stock price, right? So give me just a second, and let me confirm that my mic is working. Yep, looks like mic is working. All right, share screen. All right, share screen. All right, so let's take a look at this. It says Nvidia earnings stock slumps despite another record quarter for AI leader. Now, if we look at the price, it did slump a little bit, but I'm not sure it's up now. Okay, so it looks like it's recovering, right? So if you look at the chart right here, initially it took a dive. Now it looks like it's coming back up. And again, the numbers weren't bad. Let's take a look at what they did. All right, so it says Nvidia's hotly anticipated earnings report exceeded consensus expectations as the world's biggest company continued its streak of delivering explosive financial growth as the clearest beneficiary of the artificial intelligence gold rush. All right, so some key facts. If we look at the numbers, it says Nvidia reported 81 cents adjusted earnings per share, or 19.3 billion net income in the 3-month ending period ending last month, topping average analyst projections of 75 cents EPS. So they did 81 cents per share, and they were expecting 75 cents. So really good. And it says, okay, so 75 cents EPS or 17.4 billion net income according to FactSet. The semiconductor chip architect generated 35.1 billion in sales, crushing estimates of 33.2. So they crushed estimates by about 2 billion. So pretty good for Nvidia. Third bullet, Nvidia indicated growth will continue in the fourth quarter, guiding for about 37.5 billion in revenue compared to consensus forecast of 37.09 billion. So slightly above the forecast for fourth quarter they're expecting. But despite the top and bottom lines beats and improved outlook, shares of Nvidia slipped about 4% in the limited afternoon trading with 10 minutes of the release. And this is true. It went down about 4%, 4 to 6% after this release. So again, and this is kind of similar to September's release, the second quarter, because numbers were good the second quarter. So they and the price went down. Remember, it went up to like 120, then came back down all the way to like 95 or something like that. And then after like a week or so, I guess the market digested the information and said they actually didn't do that bad. They actually did pretty well. And then it bounced all the way to 120 again, and then went all the way to 130, and then sitting at where we're at now, 145. 143, and it looks like it's just taking a slight dip, right? So for me, it's actually holding pretty well. All right, so let's keep reading these bullets. It says the cause of the decline was not immediately clear, but it's a reflection of the sky-high expectations for the AI Colossus. I don't know how to pronounce that. Colossus. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, so like I said in my live stream a day ago when I was talking about Nvidia earnings, I said if they don't come up with anything, if they come up with something less than perfect, then they were going to drop a little bit. Now for me, they did really, really well. It looks like they beat on mostly everything. So it's not like they didn't do perfect, right? For me, perfect is hitting exactly the numbers they expected. But they did slightly better than that. But again, the market is used to Nvidia crushing their numbers. And again, I just think it's just the initial reaction. But in my opinion, I think within a few days, maybe even by tomorrow, we're going to start to see a push up, right? I think Nvidia by the end of the year we get to $200. That's just my prediction. It says at the end, the bottom one, it says the 7% quarter over quarter growth implied by the 37.5 billion Q4 sales guidance would be the weakest such result since the quarter ending in January 2023 for Nvidia. Okay. Again, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, but it's still they're selling, they're beating their expectations, and they're moving forward. All right, so big number, more than 700%. That's how much higher Nvidia's sales in its AI-heavy data center segment were then they were. I'm not sure if that even makes sense. Read that again. In its AI-heavy data center segment, or then they were in 2022's comparable period, growing from 3.8 billion to 30.8 billion. Right, that's a lot. That's 700%, 7 times the amount. Right, comparable to 2022, just 2 years of a 2-year time period, they went up 700% when it comes to the growth from the sales from their data center. It says that exponential growth coincides with the generative AI boom as Nvidia designs a majority of the complex software and hardware systems used to train the advanced machine learning models. And this is true. We have a big push to move everything over to AI. Every company is transitioning to AI. They're implementing AI in some form or fashion, and everybody wants to be in this space. So in training models, the need for GPUs is a big thing. So that's why you kind of see in the crypto space that we're seeing a lot of decentralized solutions, a lot of crypto projects that are tied to AI. They're going to be very big going into this crypto bull run, and I don't think people are bullish enough. I keep saying it, but I think AI, DePIN are going to be the biggest narratives when it comes to crypto, and the fact that Nvidia beat earnings again, I think it's just going to help this narrative going into the end of November and going into the end of December. Just my opinion. Okay, it says what to watch for, how Nvidia's results impact the broader market this week, and I said that Nvidia makes up a big part of the market, a big part of our indexes and things like that, and I just found out that Nvidia actually makes up 6% of our stock market, its value, so it's pretty huge. So it says how Nvidia's results impact the broader market this week. Bank of America strategist wrote earlier this week, Nvidia earnings can dictate the near-term direction of the market, with an S&P options activity linked to the announcement, pricing, and more potential movement for the index than for weighty economic reports like the Consumer Price Index or the Federal Reserve's interest rate. All right, yeah, and I believe that's true, right? If a stock is basically makes up 6% of our equities market or our stock market or our indexes, then if you know the direction in which its price goes would move the market. It's a big percentage of the market, 6%, and people are always have their eyes on what the company is doing. Is it beating earnings? Is it exploding? Is it surpassing expectations and things like that? So yeah, and for me, they did well. I think they're on track to hit 200 by the end of the year. It says some key background here with the market capitalization of 3.5 trillion. Nvidia is the most valuable company in the world, outstripping the likes of longer established stalwarts like Apple and Microsoft. Nvidia has become a Wall Street darling. All right, and this is true. All right. Yeah, and it looks like the price is doing pretty good. It's holding up pretty good. I mean, this initial crash was just probably people trying to scare people out. But for the most part, I think Nvidia did pretty well. Again, I said they had to do perfect for it to just go crazy, but I think it's going to recover going into going into tomorrow. Maybe you see a little sell-off, but I think ultimately probably 200 is in the cards by the end of the year. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my take on the Nvidia earnings. Can't wait to see. And I gotta make sure this is Q3. Let's see. All right. It still doesn't have it there, so we have 1, 2. So we have Q4. So 1, 2. Okay. Yeah. So that was Q3. We'll get Q4 in January, essentially. So yeah, looking forward to Q4, and bull market for crypto is on. Very excited about that space. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.